Joining me now is a brand new UFC lightweight who defeated Joe Lowery via first round TKO at Dana White's Tuesday Night Contender Series Week 8. It is Devonte Smith here on the program for the very first time. Devonte, how are you?
I'm good, feeling great. I'm not about to go to practice right now. How are you feeling?
I'm doing very well. I'm sure you've heard this, but not as well as you are doing right now, I would think. Of course, just 6 days out from being signed to the UFC and a first round TKO win. Could that night have gone any better? And right now, is it possible for you to be doing any better than you are? I mean, again, brand new UFC fighter, this is what you've wanted. You're obviously doing fantastic right now.
Right. Truthfully, there's, I think about it from time to time. There's really nothing else I could have done. There's a lot of ways to knock somebody out, but I feel that I got the job done in a way that it needs to be done. It's not that just that I, knocked them out. It was I dominated the whole fight. And when they thought they had me with the grappling, I had a counter for that. And watching the fight after, once they finally posted it on the Fight Pass, I was really brought in to lose. So I think that was another big thing that helped me, get the contract. Seeing that they built this guy up so much, and I, beat him like it was nothing. So I'm feeling good. As I say, could I be any better? Yeah, that's why I'm already back in practice, getting work in.
So do you actually think they thought or they wanted Joe Lowery to beat you?
I feel, in a way, I feel like they did. I mean, there's no hard feeling. They didn't really know too much about me other than the finishes. Dana White, he never came to any of my fights except for the one he just seen. He went to the fights, looking for a fighter. So I would get and I would understand why, they would think, he's coming in one way, but, I just made it into a completely different situation. They didn't expect, a lot of people didn't expect I was going to come out the way I did, but, it's what I do. I prove people wrong.
So I just took a glance at the odds, and you were, in fact, the underdog with plus 175. Did that surprise you going in? And I guess either way, did you really care about that?
No, not really, man. I seen it on Dana White. I seen that he posted it. I didn't look at the odds. I just knew what it was. I just took a screenshot of it, and I just scrolled, and I just thought, if I'm the underdog, it's going to be a lot of people losing money, and I was going to make a joke about it, and that's why I posted that one video showing, pretty much saying, you bet against me, you're going to lose. I think people thought I was going to lose or I was the underdog mainly off of that Gunther fight, but that's the only thing. Oh, that's the only reason why I could think, people thought I was going to lose that. Other than that, I don't know.
Has any of this sunk in? Has it sunk in that you are a UFC fighter?
Yes, it has. And again, that's why I'm already 6 days out and I'm already back in the gym, just because I just got in the building. So, it's time to, put more gas, push, go a little harder instead of, let up.
Sometimes when fighters get signed to the UFC, it takes a long time for it to sink in, and maybe it never does until maybe their first fight in the actual UFC or whatever. But why do you feel it took you not that long? I mean, is it just because it feels so natural and this is the place you've meant to be, so you've sort of expected it, or?
Yeah, I always, to a certain extent, I'm not going to say always, but, as I got older, we'll say maturity, I knew that getting to the UFC wasn't going to be the hard part, because I knew with the skill, the talent I have, and, just me being me, I just knew and I believe that I can get to the UFC. It's the stand in the UFC. I hear tons of times that, the lightweight division is stacked and it has a lot of good people, so that means I need to step my game up, Maybe for the first 2-3 days, it was still sinking in because it's like, man, it's been like a 10 to 11 year dream. Like I've been wanting this since I was 14. And 9 days after my birthday, I got the contract. So it was really like a dream come true. But that was just one part of the goal, and I would get into the UFC. Now was the next part, and that's building my name, building my brand, and getting to that title fight. Whether that's a year, 2 years, 3 years, but just know it's gonna happen, and it may happen sooner than I expect it to. So I'm just staying ready.
So you, of course, scored the first-round TKO win. That's what everybody goes for, at least strikers anyways. You scored or landed the elbows and put him away. Is that sort of how you saw it playing out, or were there some surprises along the way?
No, I mean, truthfully, I didn't know that I would, KO him in the first round, I really wasn't going for a knockout. I wasn't going for anything crazy because I've actually been to one of the live events and I see that people really be fighting for that contract. And that's cool and all, but my goal is to hit and not to get hit. So I understand for some people, Dana White being there was going to be, pressure, but it was really just like a normal day. I didn't even plan to throw elbows. I just seen his head, and a lot of people forget, man, this is a fight. Some people are too technical. It's a fight. So the goal is to, cause pain to the point that your opponent doesn't want to go anymore. So did it like 3-4 times, and he didn't want to go anymore, and the referee stepped in on like the 7th elbow.
You said that you fight as with the mentality of get or hit, not get hit, which is sort of the smart tactical game plan a lot of fighters use nowadays. But were you sort of concerned going in that some fighters might go for broke more than you and therefore maybe score like a miraculous KO and get the contract? I mean, everything worked out. You ended up, letting it all go and getting the first round win. But were you at all concerned that other people would go more for broke and that would pay off?
Actually, yes, that was one of my concerns. But at the end of the day, I worked very hard. I trained very hard. I literally was doing nothing for 2 months but training, and I've been put in so many bad positions, during practice. And, it just felt like at home. It's like if he did go for broke, I sparred tons of people that go for broke, and I was ready for that pressure. So, once I started seeing him slow down from the jabs, I tended to pick up. So, but after coming to reality of like it's a fight, it goes, hit and not get hit and win. I just let all that worry go and do what I've been training to do.
So the fight ends, you go do your interview with Laura Sanko, then you have a little bit of downtime just to wait for the main event, and then, of course, for the UFC to make their decisions. At the time when the fight ends, how confident are you that you will be a UFC fighter in just hours from then?
Very confident. I was like there was no doubt in my mind that I had the contract. After I knocked him out the way I did in the first round, plus he was the one that, that I feel like they were building up. I knew by making him look like, oh, wow, we thought he was something. Now look at him. I had no doubt. No doubt in my mind. I went there, got on my phone, turned my phone on just to see how many people said congratulations. That felt good. And I was just waiting for my name to get called, to tell the truth. I really was. I was back there making jokes with Bobby Moffitt and we just laughing. I was just waiting for my name to get called.
Now, you find out you are a UFC fighter. You are one of the fighters they picked to sign to the UFC after that card. What is going through your mind then?
Gunther. Now it's time to avenge my one and only loss, get that out the way, and then move forward. I got the win, and I was happy that I got the contract, but it's like, now it's time for the next step. I know it's like a gift and it's a curse because, you want to enjoy life and enjoy your accomplishments. But, I enjoyed it, but it was time for the next move, and that was the first thing on my mind. So once they called my name and I went in for the second interview, that's why first thing I said was, I want John Gunther. He in the UFC. I'm in the UFC now, and now it's time to run it back.
Yeah, something that I find interesting about that is that a lot of fighters that get signed to the UFC or have a big accomplishment, they kind of fall into a trap of enjoying it too much and realizing or not realizing that there's still more to be done. It seems like that was very easy for you to realize that, hey, this is just the beginning, not the ending.
Right, exactly. Because I've had this feeling before, and it was with the John Gunther fight where it was like a big, like extremely super big build up, and everybody's like, man, you beat him, you might fight one more person, but UFC is going to be calling you this and UFC that, and I had a lot of pressure on me, and once I took that loss, it kind of got to me, but skip, I got this win, so again, I got all that pressure on me, but I've been in this predicament before. So, I didn't let the pressure get to me this time, or, it was like, again, it was just another day. It was just another day. And once I got that contract, I was like, it's time for the next move. You know, I'm looking straight. I'm looking straight ahead. I'm looking straight ahead.
And you said it was just another day at the office, essentially. How much did, or I should say, did this fight feel bigger than your others just because of the stage it was on? It was on Fight Pass, backed by the UFC. The stakes are very high. Dana White himself is there. More media, more viewers, all of that. The bright lights were on, just a little dimmer than the UFC, for real, but still pretty bright. Did you feel those bright lights? Did it feel bigger?
No, it was again another day. When people think about that too much, that's when they begin to psych themselves out. You know, like they say, a lot of people are going for broke when they fight for the Contender series. You know, I'm cool on all that. You know, I'm not about to be swinging and all that crazy stuff, wasting energy, and then probably not even win the fight, and then get bumped up and all. No, I'm cool on all that. Like, you know, I'm gonna do me. You know, I'm not worrying that Dana White is there, you know, because I'm here for a reason. You know, I'm not worried about the UFC because, I knew I was going to be here one day. So the only thing I had to do was stay focused and do what I've been training to do. You know, I didn't care about all the media. I didn't care about nothing. Like, if, you know, if people was, I tend to ignore people the week of the fight. You know, I don't answer my phone. Like, I stay focused and I worry about what needs to be, you know, that's what's important. And all that other stuff really wasn't important. As long as I went in and did what I needed to do, I knew that I would come out successful, and which I did.
So before the fight, in your pre-fight interview on the broadcast, you said something along the lines of, after you get this win, you plan on taking over the UFC, taking over the world. That's sort of when this whole journey starts. Can you expand exactly what taking over the world means as one man, and also, is it fair to say you are well on your way to doing so?
You know what? That's a good question. I would say taking over the world is like, you know, it's because when people say that we'll take over the UFC, that's like, I don't know, that's like small mind. I'm always thinking about the bigger things, the bigger picture. You know, I want to take over my city. You know, Cleveland, Ohio. I want to be the new face of, you know, Cleveland. You know, I want to travel the world. I want to be that guy. I'm going to be that guy. You know, and I'm going to set up things for my future, for my future generations. You know, that we never gonna have to want for anything again. You know, and just taking over UFC, that's just part of it. I want everything. I want everything, and that's what I'm gonna get because I work for it.
It seems like you have a lot of charisma. Just talking to you for the past 10 minutes or so, your interview after the fight, lead up to it all, just hearing you talk a little bit, you certainly have a lot of charisma. Where does that come from?
I don't know the truth. It's probably just past experiences and just life, and it's coming into myself, you know, as I get older and mature, and just the positive people I surround myself by, you know, because I know what it is. I know how it is to struggle, and I know what the struggle is. I knew it, and I've been through a lot of things through my life that stuff is like burned in my head. But it's like I heard that they said the most richest place in the world is the graveyard. You know, because it's tons of ideas and things that, you know, people wanted to do, but they're too scared to do, whether that, you know, they're insecure about themselves or whether, you know, people don't believe them and they care about what other people think. I'd rather my grave be the most broken grave there, because I do everything and everything on my mind. So it's like I'd rather be that guy. You know, I'd rather go out trying and go and getting everything I work for and accomplishing every dream. Success is my mission. Success is my mission. Everybody got different realities and perspective of what success is, but I know what my perception and reality of success is. You know, in short, is take over everything. Just do anything I want.
Do you feel like you're the type of fighter, you are a fighter the UFC may look to push down the road, maybe even sooner than later?
Yes, because first off, I'm not trying to be no Conor McGregor. You know, he's his own unique guy. You know, and I feel that's what a lot of people go wrong with. You know, I'm not trying to be no Khabib. I'm not trying to be no GSP. I'm not trying to be John Jones. I'm gonna be me, and me being me can mean so many things. You can get the goofy me, the calm me, the cool me, the sporadic me. It's however I feel that day in that moment, and that's unique in itself because I'm being me, whether people like it or not, I don't care, I'm gonna do me, and I feel like with this type of attitude, and my skill set and my team that's backing me, my management crew and my fighting team, Factory X, I can do anything and everything, and I work hard for everything, and I know I can just do it.
A lot of fighters, especially when they start having a lot of success, maybe not quite winning the UFC title, but definitely on their way to, they do change. They start to try to be someone like a Conor McGregor, and they're not themselves. They sort of get caught up in the bright lights and the fame and all that. How is it that you will be able to just stay yourself?
Mostly my mom and my dad. My dad still hit me up and pretty much tell me some things, humble myself, because, I can understand how easily you can change, when you got a lot of yes men and yes women around you. But my family, especially my mom and dad, they will check me and they'll let me know the truth, and, I listen to my parents, and, I'm a humble guy to a certain extent. And, just having family and people to, who really with you and who really care for you, whether whatever they say may irritate you, hurt you, but it's for the greater good. I feel like that's a big advantage that I have.
Are you excited to be potentially pushed by the UFC more than a lot of fighters?
Yes.
I guess that's an obvious question, but I had to ask.
Right. More money, more opportunities. I get to do more, man. Like, I was going away from home for like 2 months, man, and it was hard at first because I never really been away from my family for a long period of time. But man, that solitude, like I don't know, it was just a positive thing for me, and I don't know, I loved it. I'm not telling like I'm a introvert or anything like that, but it's just, I don't know, it just helped me grow. So when the UFC, starts to push me, man, that means I get to do more things, network with more people, visit different places of the world. Like, I'm excited. I'm excited to do and learn, do different things.
So as you said earlier in this interview, and then of course you called out John Gunther, tough 27 fighter, and the only fighter to ever beat you professionally. That is who you want to fight next. You want him on the Denver card in November. Why is it so important for you to avenge your only career loss? I don't want to say that it should never happen because, hats off to him, and, it helped me get to where I'm at now. But I just don't want him to have that over me. He will technically, but I want to run that back, and I want it to show that it should never happen. It is what it is, but just say I'm the guy that wants to keep going until I win. How about that? Is that the easiest way to explain it? Sure. No, for sure.
You beat me, I got to get you back. That's just how I am. Just how I am. It's
sort of that competitiveness in a lot of fighters.
Yep. I want to get that back. So we're gonna run that back, and I'm gonna come out victorious.
Did you happen to watch his UFC debut? And if so, what did you think about it?
No, I just heard stories about it. People say that, he may look sloppy or this or that. I didn't really I didn't even watch it yet. So I thought about watching it here and there, but I'm really just chilling, relaxing. I mean, yeah, I'm at the gym right now, but it's going to be like, slow work, just getting moving around again. But I might watch it sooner or later, but I worry more about it when I actually get the contract to fight him.
How important do you think it was to have a name on that interview, on that broadcast? For all the people watching Dana White Contender Series, they all knew that you had this name in mind, and now it might just make the UFC's matchmakers' jobs a little easier. When a lot of fighters, they just say, I want to fight whoever the UFC wants me to fight, I'm good with anything. You had a name. How important was that?
I feel like it's a big thing. Again, like you said, it makes the matchmaker's job a lot easier. A lot of fighters, they'd be like, I want to fight the top guy, I want to fight this guy, but they don't really have a guy, like a dude, a specific name. And I think it's just a smart move because we all know who we want to fight. So we already know who we trying to push, and again, it just makes the matchmaker's job easier.
As far as what is sort of next for you, you said you're back in the gym already, so just training and getting better, and hopefully fighting Gunther in November. Is that sort of the plan? And from there until now, you're just training?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Just gonna be pushing and working on new moves, working on old moves, and just doing me, what I do best. And I manifest. I get that fight against Gunther in Denver, and then from there, I'm gonna call out somebody else, and we just gonna start building.
Well, Devonte, thank you so much for the time. I really do appreciate it. It was great talking to you for the first time. I'm sure it will not be the last, and congratulations.
Nope.
Congrats once again on the win. Before I let you go, just let my audience know where they can get a hold of you on social media, and if there's anybody you'd like to thank or give a shout-out to, the floor is yours.
Okay, you can follow me on Instagram and Twitter at KOTC, KINGKAGE. Shout out to all my sponsors, Turp House, Beast Coast Unlimited, Quest Nutrition, Lace and Loose, Uncle Jack, and big shout out to Factory X, SAS, and everybody who helped me on my journey. And big shout out to MGK. I'm gonna just throw that out there since he's from Cleveland. But other than that, thank you for your time.